All right, so right now I want to talk about why women shame men. One thing you'll notice out there is that whenever a woman does not like what you're saying and she has no argument for you and she has no facts or statistics to debate you with, she will often go immediately right for the shaming tactics and right for the personal attacks and ad hominem attacks. You'll see this very, very often in my comment section of my YouTube videos. Whenever we get a woman in there, not all of them, but most of them, okay? Most of them, I would say the overwhelming majority, probably about 98%, 97%, 98% of the women who comment on my videos are generally not debating what they don't like about my video. Instead, they're making personal attacks towards me, and they're using very, very typical shaming tactics, very, very typical feminist shaming tactics. In this coaching video, I want to make you guys aware of what those shaming tactics are so that you can protect yourself and defend yourself in the future whenever these shaming tactics are used on you personally. Okay, so let's go through some of the common shaming tactics that women use. And I'm just going to take this straight from my own comment section of my coaching videos, because women seem a lot more bolder in the comment section than they do in person. I mean, I approach girls out in field all the time, and yeah, every once in a while I approach the random feminist who tries to shame me. And the thing about it is, when they do it in person, they're not as bold as when they do it online in my comment section, hiding behind a fake YouTube profile in their computer. For some reason, a lot of these chicks and a lot of their little beta orbiters, you know, that support the gynocracy and the feminist imperative, they're just as bad as the women. I mean, they are, to me, they're no different from women, because they do the same exact shaming tactics. They use the same exact personal attacks, ad hominem attacks. I mean, they act like women, you know, and there's a reason why these guys are beta cucks. There's a reason why these guys are male feminists, SJWs, is because they identify more with the feminine rather than the masculine. They've abandoned their own masculinity in exchange to become more feminine, in exchange for more femininity. Okay, before we get into the actual shaming tactics, one thing you have to understand is every time a woman tries to shame you for your opinion, it's often going to be a red pill opinion, right? Or a red pill truth that she doesn't like. I mean, because women aren't going to shame you for things that are not true. They're only going to shame you for things that are true. Those bitter truths about women and the world and society that they don't want to hear and they don't want to accept. So like a child, a lot of them like want to cover their ears and go, nah, 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 and then call you names. I mean, these women like are very, very, who shame. The women who shame are very, very immature and very childlike. You'll feel like you're having a fight with a 7th grader. It will feel like that, literally. And it's very sad that adult women can actually act like children. And it's even more sad that adult men, you know, that identify with the feminine can act that way too, and just completely abandon their own masculinity and completely abandon trying to act like a rational male, and instead just act like a little bitch, right? Act like a chick. So the thing you have to understand about shaming language is, at its very core, shaming language is meant to control you. Okay, it's meant to control you. It's meant to control your ideas, your values, your beliefs. Okay, and it's meant to somewhat motivate you to abandon your own frame and your own beliefs and adopt theirs. That's what shaming language is meant to do. Because at the end of the day, everything about women who identify with feminism and men who identify with feminism, for that matter, they are very, very controlling in their method of debate. Okay, they're very, very controlling, and I've said this a million times before, they're all after the same thing, which is power. Okay, so all they want is power and control. I mean, you're not going to tell me otherwise. I grew up in the most liberal city in the world, which is San Francisco. I know how these people function. I grew up by Haight-Ashbury. So, I mean, I've been surrounded by liberals my entire life. I know their arguing tactics, their debating tactics. I know how the shaming tactics work. At the end of the day, they're all about power and control. As much as they point to all these evil people who want power, control, and money, they are the ones who are actually doing that. So a lot of these lefties and a lot of these women who identify with feminism, they tend to do a lot of self-projection. Okay, they are all about self-projecting. They're projecting their own insecurities and their own mediocrities onto you, right? So if they call you a racist, it's because deep down, they are racists themselves. Okay, if they call you a bigot, it's because deep down, they are bigots themselves. I mean, if the guy calls you a misogynist, it's because deep down, he's a misogynist himself. So you have to understand what's behind the shaming tactics. So it's about power and control. Now for the actual shaming tactics themselves, these are some of the common ones that you'll hear. These are some of the most common ones that I get in my comment section. So I tend to get a lot of comments saying that I hate women. All right, you hate women, and you're teaching your followers to hate women too. And it's like, no. The fact that I'm exposing a lot of red pill truths about female nature does not equate to hating women. It's helping men to become better men and helping men to realize just how naive they've been their entire lives, living with those old blue pill idealisms and all of that Disney bullshit, and thinking women are flawless and, you know, they're these innocent little princesses when they're not. Somebody who actually hates women is not going to make his living as a dating coach, as I am, and is not going to be actively going out there 4 to 5 times per week and continuing to pick up women and cold approach women and date women. I have a dating rotation of 6 women right now. They're all cool girls. I love spending time with them. I love hanging out with them. It took a lot of work to find these particular girls that I'm dating now that don't preach feminism. They don't sit there and disrespect me like most women are taught to do these days to their men. They're fun to hang out with, and they're just cool girls. So obviously somebody who hates women is not going to continue to interact with women. I mean, this is probably the biggest accusation I get is like, oh, you're just saying these things because you hate women. It's like, if I hated women, I would not be a dating coach. So you're going to get the same accusation as well whenever you say anything that does not support the gynocracy, does not support the feminine imperative, does not support the feminist propaganda. Whenever you speak out against that, automatically you're going to be accused of hating women. Another thing you're going to be accused of is being bitter. Oh, you're just a bitter man. Who hurt you, mister? Who broke up with you, mister? Who dumped you and hurt you so bad that now you're out here bashing women? And it's like, we've all been hurt. Okay, that's one thing you have to understand. It's like everybody's been hurt. Okay, me, you, anybody who's been dating long enough has likely been dumped and had their guts ripped out by their partner at some point. Everybody has experienced that. Okay, but that does not have anything to do with you exposing the truth about female nature. Okay, I mean, in many cases, that's how you discover these truths about female nature, is because somebody did hurt you and you went out looking for answers. You went out to do your own research. And while doing your own research, you came across a number of studies, a number of statistics. You probably came across, like I did, a lot of truths on the subject of female hypergamy and just basic female evolution. And you learn these things, and you know, when you, in my case, like when you do a video on it, like recently I did a video on why women can never love men. It's just not in their nature to, it's just not a part of their DNA for that matter, to love men unconditionally or idealistically. They love you opportunistically. And in that comment section of that video, I had so many women accusing me like, oh, who hurt you, mister? Why are you so bitter? Who ripped your heart out? And I literally had to copy and paste a comment that I had created stating that this is not my personal opinion. I mean, it is, but this is also based on actual research, study, and statistics done on female evolution, referring to the subject of female hypergamy. So this is an actual study. This is actual research that has been done. Okay, so what does it have to do, you know, you getting angry, what does that have to do with me being like, you know, having my guts ripped out by my last girlfriend, you know, over 10 years ago? Who cares? That has nothing to do with it. You know, like I said, men find the red pill after a breakup and they go searching for answers. Nobody is like walking around out there clueless after their breakup and just being like, I hate women now, I hate women, you know, and doing YouTube videos. Nobody's doing that. The only people who like actually put in the effort, the time, effort, and money to create a YouTube video on the subject is somebody who's researched it and somebody who's looked for those actual answers and somebody who wants to help other men. And in my case, that's me. All right. Another charge you'll get is you have mommy issues, right? You have mommy issues. Your mom, she was probably neglectful. What, did your mom hate you? What was wrong with your relationship with your mother that you're out here doing these kinds of videos, mister? And it's like, my relationship with my mother is fantastic. She was a great mother, and unlike most people, I mean, my parents actually stayed together. They've been married for 50 years. They just celebrated their 50th year anniversary, by the way. And much of the reason why I ended up getting so deep into game and pickup is because when I was in college, I was very much trying to get married. I was trying to duplicate my parents' success, you know, almost to a fault, where I was constantly looking for the woman who was going to become my girlfriend. So I was out there looking for the best looking girl I could find and the coolest looking girl I could find that was willing to marry me. And in doing so, I came across a lot of beautiful women and a lot of cool girls, but I did not have that relationship game at that time to hang on to these girls, so I was getting dumped, okay? And I don't fault those girls. I'm still friends with a lot of the women I dated back then, even as far back as college, okay? I have nothing against those girls. It's just that at that time, I did not have the maturity to hang on to them, much less that, again, that relationship game to hang on to these girls. But to use that as a charge for why I'm teaching men more red pill truths just doesn't fly, all right? It just doesn't fly. It's just more shaming tactics that women try to use to shut down the argument, to try to control you, to try to motivate you to abandon your own beliefs and adopt theirs. Why? Because it feeds them more power. Understand that, guys. It gives them more power. Women, you think men are power hungry? No, women are the most power hungry creatures on the planet. All they want is more and more power. It's like they don't already get fed enough power from government, corporations, Hollywood, movies, TV, advertising. Everywhere you look, it's all about empowering women and, oh, we need to pedestalize women even more. And, oh, we don't have enough women in the workplace in this area or that area. We don't have enough female CEOs. Oh, we got to start empowering more women again. It's like everything out there in society is set up to feed women power. You know, you would think that they would be humble enough to go, okay, I know we've got a great deal here having a vagina. I know society at large entirely caters to us. It's not enough for them to have just that. They want even more power. It's like, oh, all those stupid dumb men out there who are not supporting the gynocracy and the feminine imperative. You better get in line, mister. We better get in line. We don't have enough power yet. Okay? We don't have enough power just yet. You know, they're never going to be happy. It feeds into that, the theory about women is that women are never happy. They're not. They're never going to be happy. You know, stop trying to make women happy, by the way. I think Chris Rock had a very, very funny comedy skit on you can't make a woman happy. You can't. Okay? You can't make women happy. Again, I'm not saying that because I hate women, because if I did, I would not be dating women actively right now. Like I said, I have a dating rotation of 6 different women. However, as much as I love those girls, I love hanging out with them, I do understand their nature as women. I understand, like, if I stop providing value in an emotional way, in a mental way, in a physical way, a sexual way, I know that they're going to start looking elsewhere and they're going to start looking for some other high value male that they can jump to. I go into all of my relationships with complete red pill awareness. And in my 2, almost 3 decades doing game, going out there doing tens of thousands of approaches, having dated hundreds of women now, I have not gotten any of those girls pregnant. I don't have any children out of wedlock or anything like that, like a lot of top pickup artists out there. I've not made that mistake. I've never been married. I don't owe anybody any alimony or child support. So like I said, I'm very red-pilled. I was red-pilled very, very early, way back in the 90s, before many of you who are shaming me on my channel probably even existed. I was doing game and I was getting red-pilled by Guess who? Women themselves. Women were teaching me this stuff. I was learning it firsthand in field. Okay, I wasn't learning it from Rachel Maddow off MSNBC or, off Trevor Noah or some late night talk show host. I was learning this stuff from women themselves, having been in field for so long. In any case, today's woman cannot hold a candle to yesterday's women. They just can't. Our mothers and grandmothers were not out there, every single weekend at the nightclubs. They were not living their lives on Tinder or Bumble. They were not taking selfies of themselves 24/7, trying to get male attention. Our mothers and grandmothers weren't doing that. Okay, but today's women are, right? And it's very, very important that young men and as much as older men, and men like myself, men my own age, are aware of that. So we know what we're dealing with. We know what we're getting ourselves into, whether it be a dating relationship or something more serious like a marriage, especially marriage. You better know what you're getting yourself into and that you're inviting the state into your life. You have to weigh the risk. Is this girl worth the risk? In many cases, she's not going to be worth that risk. But for some of you, you really want to have families, you want to have kids, you want to do that number. I can't stop you. All I can do is warn you of the risks. And in doing so, while I'm warning you of those risks, I'm constantly getting shamed for it by women who don't like the content that I put out because it doesn't fall in line with the feminine imperative. It doesn't feed power to the feminine imperative. Instead, it feeds power to what? The masculine imperative, right? Which they hate. I mean, really, if you look around out there, who's feeding into the masculine imperative? Who's feeding us power? Who's trying to empower us? Who's trying to help us? Nobody. Nobody. You think corporations care about us? No. It's all catered around women. Do you think government cares about us? No. Hollywood? Absolutely not. Which is why I tell you guys, abandon Hollywood. A lot of you jackasses, you continue to pay for these Hollywood movies. A lot of you, not that long ago, like maybe a year ago, you were like, oh, but Marvel's still okay. Marvel's still okay. And I'm like, no, I wouldn't watch Marvel either. I wouldn't trust them because they will turn on you too. No, Marvel's okay. And then sure enough, what's happening recently? Marvel has this feminist superhero character that's coming out. I don't know. I don't pay attention to this stuff, but they do. This is why I'm telling you, women do not like it when you don't feed into their feminine primary order, when you don't continue to feed them power. Nobody is feeding us power as men. Nobody is empowering us. Nobody is helping us. Nobody is telling us what to do. I see a number of female role models for girls, little girls, older women. I don't see any for men. Do you? I don't. Even the male role models that start to gain traction in society and start to gain a following, those people are quickly taken away from us. They're shamed. They get their social media accounts deleted, right? And we lose them. So anybody who doesn't feed into the feminine primary gets deleted, right? Gets deleted off of social media, and which is our main method of communication right now. And I've warned you guys too. I'm like, I wouldn't be surprised one day if they delete me. YouTube has already demonetized a number of my videos that I've had to fight for to get them remonetized because I'm like, there's nothing wrong in these videos. And so much so I even keep my cursing. I try not to curse at all in my coaching videos. Not only because I don't like to, I like to make my point without having to resort to F-bombs or 4-letter words or anything like that. I want to make my coaching points without having to lower my vernacular, so to speak. But yeah, most of my coaching videos have very little to no cursing in them, yet they are being demonetized. There's no explicit photos in them or anything like that, yet they are being demonetized. Why? Because I'm not feeding into that feminine primary, because I'm not feeding into that feminine primary order, the feminine imperative. Instead, I'm feeding the masculine imperative. I'm trying to actually help men. I'm trying to help men become better versions of themselves. I'm trying to help men understand themselves, become more self-aware, and to become more successful in life. Not only just with women, but with business. And for that, I constantly get shamed. I get attacked, not only by women, but sadly, by these cuck beta male men out there, these male feminists who want to try to shame me into replugging myself back into the matrix that they're plugged into and continue feeding the feminine primary, continue feeding into that feminine imperative. It's like, no, jackass, I'm not going to do that. I've been there. I approach these girls. You don't. A lot of these fags too are complete incels. You know, these beta orbiters who, these SJWs, leftist cucks, whatever you want to call them, it's all the same thing to me these days, that drop these hater comments and try to shame me back to supporting the feminine primary. I mean, these guys are the biggest incels. These guys don't get laid. These guys are the same guys that women call creepy, gross. These are the same guys that are getting Me Too'd. These are the same guys that women want nothing to do with, that are, you know, completely creeped out by, and will do anything to avoid like the plague. Yet here these guys are defending these bitches, all right? They're defending the feminine order because they think it's going to get them laid. They think by abandoning their masculinity in exchange for being more feminine is going to get them laid somehow, is going to get these girls that think they're creepy and gross to, you know, to like them. That's why they have this hashtag that, I don't want to curse, but she still won't fuck you. All right, there's that hashtag, and that's meant for you beta male cucks, you liberals, you SJWs who just don't get it. But you have to understand, all of this feminist shaming language, whenever a woman shames you, like I said, it's all about power and control, and continuing to feed into the feminine imperative, to continue feeding women power and empowering more women out there. We need more women in college and whatnot. Meanwhile, you look around at the other side of the spectrum, men are jumping off bridges, they're jumping off buildings, they're putting ropes around their necks, they're hanging themselves, they're putting guns in their mouths, they're shooting themselves. Men are committing suicides at alarming rates. Men are dropping out of college at alarming rates. Men are dropping out of relationships and marriage at alarming rates. Do they care? No, because it doesn't feed into the feminine primary, right? They could care less about us. And anybody who is actually out there trying to help men get shamed for it. You know, people like me and other YouTubers. Any male role models we get, they take their platform away as soon as these guys start to become big, you know, or they try to shame them back into replugging themselves into that blue pill matrix. You have to understand, when women shame you, you just can't allow yourself to buckle under the pressure. Don't let her pull you out of your frame and get sucked into hers. Don't let her pull you out of your own reality and get sucked into hers. You know, especially if she's good looking, right? Especially if she's good looking. Because let me tell you, as a dating coach, as a pickup artist, that chick is not going to pull her panties down for you as long as you are feeding into her ego, as long as you're continuing to validate and supplicate to her. She's not going to pull down her pants. You know when she's going to pull down her pants is when you stand up like a man and you tell her that you're not down with that shit, and to stop shaming you, and that it doesn't work on you. When you show her that you have a backbone, when you show her that she can trust you to be a man and stay strong in your beliefs, so strong that she can't pull you out of your own reality and can't shake up your frame, that's when that girl will drop her panties for you. All right, so another charge I get is you're not a man if you don't protect women. So I've gotten this on a few coaching videos, especially the last one I did about women can't love men. I said it's not our job to protect women anymore. So I got a lot of women dropping comments that you're not a man if you don't protect women. It's like, I'm not your daddy. I'm not one of your family members. It's not my job to protect you or police your bad decisions. If you get in a relationship with the wrong guy out of your own poor decision, it's not my job to come in and save you if that guy gets violent one night, okay? Maybe, if you're lucky, somebody nearby will call the authorities for you. I might do it. I don't know. Maybe someone will go that far, but any man who steps in between you and that guy is foolish, because when it comes to choosing partners, especially dating partners, you women are the gatekeepers, not guys, okay? You have sex at your disposal. You are the gatekeepers to sex, not men. So if you choose the wrong man to have sex with and start dating, that is your own poor decision that you are responsible for. Okay, it is not our job to police you and be your personal bodyguard 24/7. We all have our own lives. We have our own family members to take care of. And chances are you're not part of our immediate family. So your poor decisions are on you. Take care of yourself. This is not the caveman days anymore. We are no longer living in caves where lions and tigers are trying to enter the cave and eat us. Okay, this is not happening anymore. We don't have to protect you anymore. You get enough protection from government, schools, corporations, media. You get enough protection out there. Police are out there protecting you. Every time I see one of these police cars with that sticker, like, there's no excuse for domestic violence. Who's that aimed at? Think it's aimed at women? No, it's aimed at men. It's more shaming. It's more shaming tactics to silence men. Okay, and it's starting to get really annoying. But like I said, it's not our job or your job or anybody else's job to protect women out there for their own poor choices in dating partners, or if they happen to find themselves in the wrong neighborhood and it's late at night. I mean, what are you doing there? Where is the self-accountability? Take responsibility for your own actions, which women seem to be incapable of. Women cannot take accountability for their own actions. You know, this is why I tell you guys, never apologize to women, because they sure as hell don't apologize. They don't. They're never sorry about what they do. They're incapable of holding themselves accountable for their own bad decisions. They're constantly blaming someone else. And the people they blame the most are men. We get blamed for every dumb thing that women do out there. It's always a man's fault. At the end of the day, it's always our fault, right? So it's not your job to protect women, and it's not my job to do that either. And if you are in a parking lot and you see some crazy guy and his girlfriend arguing, if you have your phone on you, go ahead and call the authorities. But you would be a complete idiot to step in between them and try to white knight for her when you don't know what is going on in that relationship. You don't know if that guy is armed. You have no clue what's going on. So that's my 2 cents on that. And lastly, I get a lot of male feminists in my comment section trying to shame me and trying to claim that they are red pill and I'm not. And it's like, dude, you cannot. Women do this too, by the way. And that's why I say male feminists and women, when it comes to how I see them, they're the same person to me. Okay, they're no different. Just because male feminists tend to identify with the feminine more than they do with the masculine. So they're no different. They use the same shaming tactics, the same debating tactics, the same arguing tactics. They're exactly the same as women. No different. But I get a lot of male feminists in my comment section attempting to claim that they are red pill. And this is what red pill is. Red pill is treating a girl like a woman, treating a girl with respect and respecting that woman like she's your mother or she's your sister. And that's what red pill is. And the thing about being red pill is based off reality. Okay, it's not based off of your own personal narcissistic view of how you want the world to operate or how you want the world to work, which is what women and male feminists constantly do. They want to equate the red pill to reflect their own beliefs and their own values. Okay? And that's not what red pill is. Red pill is being awoken to the truth and all those blue pill idealisms and all that BS, that Disney BS that we were all raised with, you know, all that feminist indoctrination we were all raised with. Red pill is all about seeing reality for what it is and being okay with that. Okay, and learning to live with that red pill awareness in a world that is very, very blue pill. That's all red pill is. But a lot of these male feminists, they want to come on the channel and redefine what the red pill is. Just like how a lot of feminists want to redefine what masculinity is. These male feminists in my comment section do the same thing. They want to redefine what the red pill is and what masculinity is, all in an effort to do what? To control you, to feed the feminine imperative more power, right? To shame you into abandoning your own values and your own beliefs so that you can adopt theirs. That's what all that is about. So for all the male feminists in my comment section, I mean, not only do I pathetically not respect you, but you're just not fooling anyone. You're definitely not fooling me. And a lot of these male feminists they're complete incels because their whole method of game is to identify with the feminine in order to get laid by the same women they're claiming to help and they're claiming to support. So you see these faggots at the Women's March wearing their pussy hats and carrying those signs. Do you think they're there for their health? No, they're there trying to get laid. They're there trying to identify with the feminine in hopes that one of these girls will drop their panties for them. And you're not fooling anyone. Like I said, look up the hashtag, she still won't fuck you. That is you guys, okay? You guys are complete incels. These guys are laughable because they're sitting here trying to tell me about women. It's like, dude, you have never cold approached a beautiful woman in your entire life. Much less have you ever experienced an LTR with a beautiful woman. So you're sitting there trying to tell the pilot how to fly the plane when you've never flown before. I laugh at these guys. It's like, dude, if I took you out with me for even one night and I had you approach at least 10 women, a lot of that blue pill shit that you're hanging on to would be beating the shit out of you. I would take you to some of the busiest venues in Hollywood where these girls would rip your ass apart with that blue pill shit, trying to be nice to them and trying to identify with the feminine. They would see that weakness coming a mile away and they would rip your ass apart. They would cut you down. They would verbally demolish you, annihilate you, to the point where you would start to rethink your views on women and the true nature of women. And you wouldn't be dropping those kind of comments in my comment section. Much less would you be out there espousing those kind of beliefs to any other man. Okay, but it's you guys who are not out there on the battlefield like I am in these venues 4 to 5 times a week for the last 2, almost 3 decades now, approaching tens of thousands of these girls and, really learning and understanding the true nature of women and how they work. To the point where you become successful because you understand it, you adapt to it, and you just accept it and you use it for your own benefit. So for you fags, you male feminists, SJW cucks, you blue pill idiots who are still dropping comments in my hater section, I laugh at you guys. I laugh at you. You're like the newbie that I see in the bar that has never approached a woman in your life, that is just completely dumbfounded when she leaves with me less than a minute later. You're dumbfounded when you see me walk out with that hot girl holding hands and making out and her grabbing my crotch and my ass. You're dumbfounded. You're baffled by it. And in your head's like exploding as you're seeing this because it's completely annihilating this blue pill reality that you've been living with your entire life. This blue pill idealistic bullshit that you've been led to believe by the feminine imperative your entire life. And I've seen this so many times. Like a newbie, some cuck, some blue pill SJW will be in there and he'll be waiting for me to get blown out because that girl was blowing everyone else out. And then he sees me leave with that same chick less than a minute later, holding hands, arm in arm, her grabbing my crotch, her grabbing my ass. And his entire reality just completely comes crumbling down. And his jaw is literally on the floor. Like, does he know her? And then he has to rationalize it in his head. So his world continues to make sense. And he doesn't go home and put a gun in his mouth and blow his head off. Because he can't believe that women will actually do this. All the women that have rejected him his entire life and given him excuses and have friend zoned him and told him that, no, I only go on 10 dates before I'll even kiss you, mister. That's third base. You can only kiss me on the cheek after 10 dates that you pay for. I have to go to this restaurant, that restaurant. You have to buy me all of these gifts in order to get that kiss on the cheek. That's what you're waiting for. And then, of course, this guy's out in a venue and he sees me just leave with a girl and the girl has sex with me that same night. The same girl that friend zones him and ignores him and calls him creepy and says that she would, she needs 10 dates to go on before she'll do anything with him. When that guy sees me walk in and walk out with that same girl and go home with her, his reality is just blown. For a lot of these guys, it's so much to take that they literally want to hang themselves. Right? And these are those male feminist types that you see out at those pussy marches and in my comment section trying to shame guys like me because we've figured out the game, and we've become self-aware and we did the work to the point where now we're red-pilled and we're teaching other guys what we've learned. And these guys who literally abandon their own masculinity in exchange for more femininity, I have absolutely zero respect for these guys. Zero. And these guys always drop comments hiding behind their computer and fake YouTube profile. Never fails. Never once has any of these guys dropped a hater comment from a real YouTube profile or anything attached to their Facebook or their real identity. It's always behind a fake YouTube profile because they're cowards. Okay, they're cowards, they're faggots, they're pussies. I mean, I vet myself. I'm a public figure. I'm out there. I'm not hiding behind a computer. I'm not hiding behind a fake YouTube profile. All my shit is real. And I'm out in these venues all the time. Okay, I'm out there all the time, 4 to 5 times per week. All these guys who are like, oh, that's not real, it's fake. I'm out in the venues all the time. pick any girl you want. I will be happy to pick that chick up. As a matter of fact, when I take students out on boot camp, that's the very first thing I do to prove to them. I'm like, pick any girl you want. I'll approach her. I'll show you how it's done. Even if the girl's not my type, I'll do it. Which girl do you like? And many times I'll get an instant makeout from that girl right then and there. I'll get that girl to start feeling up on me. I'll start feeling up on her right there inside the venue. I'll pick that girl up and leave with me, you know, and I've had that happen on a number of occasions where I've started a boot camp with a pull. Like literally the student's like, I like that girl. Can you show me how you would approach that girl? I'm like, her? Okay, I'll go. And literally within minutes, that girl is leaving with me. And he's like, whoa, what happened? What happened? Right? These are for my private coaching students that hire me one-on-one. That's all I really have to say for tonight's coaching video. Just understand where shaming language comes from, guys, just so you don't become a victim of it. You don't become a victim of these women out there trying to push you to abandon your what you know is true, what you know you've seen with your own eyes and experienced about the reality of female nature. Don't let them shame you into abandoning that. Stay strong in your frame. Stay strong in your reality. If anything, you should be pulling them into your reality. And a lot of these girls, like I said, they're so embedded into the matrix that, you know, it's just hopeless trying to unplug them. But regardless, never let them shame you away from what you know is true. These red pill truths that I'm laying on you guys. Okay, don't let them shame you into that. And especially these male feminists, these cucks, these beta males, these little faggots that hide behind their fake YouTube profile and their computer. These guys, in many ways, are worse than feminists because they've abandoned their own masculinity. If these guys are willing to abandon their own masculinity in exchange for femininity, that should tell you everything you need to know about these sellouts, okay? Because that's exactly what they are. They're just a bunch of sellouts. And if they're willing to sell out themselves, guess what? They will sell you out too. Okay, they will sell you out too. So until next time, this is Matt Cross. I will see you in my next coaching video. Don't forget to smash that like button below. Also, hit that notification bell up top so you're notified whenever I release a brand new coaching video. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, it helps me out a lot when you guys actually subscribe to my channel. And for you guys who want to support my work and support my content and everything I'm teaching you guys here, a great way to do it is by jumping into my monthly online coaching program, 7 Months of Mastery. The first month is only $1 for the entire first month of coaching lessons, where I teach you how to go out there and approach and close only the hottest women on the planet. I'm talking 8s, 9s, and 10s. These are the exact same women that I personally date, that I teach my students to date, and that I've been dating for the last 2 decades now. I've done it successfully over and over and over, to the point where I've dated over 350 young, beautiful women now, and I teach you how to do the same. And more importantly, just beyond approaching them and closing them, I also teach you how to hang on to them if you choose to do so, of how to enter a long-term relationship with these women and how to maintain that attraction with them without turning into a little beta male bitch. Right? Without kowtowing to the feminist imperative. I teach you how to do all this in 7 Months of Mastery. And like I said, that very first month is only $1. It's a great way to support my work. So if you want to join, if you want to sign up, just click that link below in my description box. It'll take you over to my website where you can get signed up right now. It just takes 2 seconds. So do that now, and I will see you in my next coaching video.